your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
A wonderful welcome to each and everyone. And as we pray that the weather will not be impacting us in any way, I believe that prayers can be answered and the miraculous hand of God will see if it's to be dissipated. It will be, but let's be prepared as we invite you to let the show go on, our monthly Mental Health Matters show. So stay tuned for our talk today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email talk today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and please join us as we have the discussion. We're recognizing that as we looking at the weather, life goes on as we prepare. So please be safe and mindful, and know that together, we'll make sure that we can weather the storm. Well, is it the first Monday of the month?
It is. Yes, it is.
Wow, that's normally when we have our monthly Mental Health Matters show. Always a pleasure to be able to have this discussion, and this is probably timely because with all the things that we're going on, sometimes we put things in abeyance. Sometimes we postpone it for a second, but life still unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
It's 11 o'clock, it's 12 o'clock, it's going to be 5 o'clock. Time does not stop.
No.
And maybe in this time, as we look at it, one, we can draw strength in each other, but we can get the planning program for what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
And a chance to focus on education and where our students can go and excel and get that fulfillment. Wow, that's good. So to you, Dr. Alexandra Warden, thank you very much for always helping us with this wonderful production. How are you?
I am good, thank you, and thank you very much for always having us on for all these great discussions.
All right. Well, through you, I would like to be able one day to say, Dr. McField, but for now,
One day.
Very soon, yes. Would you want to introduce Miss Felicia McField, or would you want her to have her introduce?
Oh, she can go ahead.
Would you? Oh, well, for me, we're going to speak to Miss Felicia McField. Thank you for joining us, and if you would, share with our listeners a little bit about yourself, if that would be okay. And thank you for coming on and joining us.
Thank you too for inviting me. So my name is Felicia McField. I am a clinical mental health professional at the Wellness Center and a registered play therapist as well. I went to University of North Texas to earn both of my degrees, and then I also became a registered play therapist. So as of now, I'm the first and only registered play therapist in Cayman. Hopefully I won't be the last.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a lot of perseverance to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am happy with the work that I can do and how I can contribute to our community.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, through these many years, I just say a decade plus in particular, through Dr. Borden, we get a chance to speak specifically about mental health and the education, the licensing and registration, the credentials. And for me, I keep saying to people that it's kind of, hopefully I haven't understood it incorrectly, but I think back to my mother when she would take her right index finger, put it to her right temple, and she'd go, once you get up here, nobody can take it from you.
Right.
That piece of paper. And it's important. And in emphasizing that, I say to people, it doesn't matter, lawyer or doctor, whatever your profession, plumber, the mechanic, you need to get proper training and opportunity for that technical, theoretical, but also the practical education through whatever that's called, articles, apprenticeship, and some trade. And that when you have that, you come to your game constantly learning, but at least a level. And then I thought, maybe I was wrong with his permission, I spoke to a fellow who is from that part of the world where the service, Switzerland and like, and as a waiter server, you don't get to that title probably until in your 30s, and you get some training. And I go, huh? And he shared that in the Cayman context, when they came here, however many decades ago, the service industry was well renowned, the professionalism that they had, and he thought that globally we've allowed it to be disrespected because all it is somebody bringing you food. That's how people see it, and there's more to it than that. And I always thought there was more. And yet, in our little conversation, I reflect and I go, we need to value and respect every job. It doesn't matter, right? Because everybody, worth is important. But unless we appreciate the importance of, I don't know what the word is, licensing, registration, credentials, but it comes to training and education, instruction, so that you know what to do, and it's not
what not to do,
and
yes.
and how to do it and when to do it. But
Yes.
importantly, and he gave us an example. He said, remember we were eating somewhere one time, and there's a lot of utensils on the table and what goes where, and you sit. Okay, it's not enough to say you're gonna start from the out, work yourself in, right? They might have been set for a particular thing, and during the course it changed, but whatever, and then you see the server come and take away something, and you go, well, why? But they train and they know, and there's communication. And then when they finish the dining, how do you take it away? Not just the side. And there was an occasion where after it, the person came to the table, and all the proper attire, and cleared the plate, and the way that they removed the crumbs, the woman next. Have you ever had an experience, Dr. Bundy?
The little squeegee.
The little
thing.
squeegee.
Yes, little scraper.
Yes, and they come with a certain side. I can't remember if it's left or right.
Right. And I remember that occasion because one of the people came and did it, and it looked okay. I mean, I didn't know any better, I thought. But the lady with us, I mean, she was appalled. Now, you wouldn't have known much because she barely squeaked and moved. But her body language, like, oh my God, he came in there and took a sledgehammer and mashed a crystal. It was that appalling, right? That conversation led us to talk that, and they felt like this was an important, it was nothing to do in pomp and circumstance or ostentatious. Strange, I reflected on that, and that level of pride and instruction and thing was important, and it didn't matter what you did. So my bottom line is, let's make sure that whatever we're doing is to the very best, so that we know what not to do, we know how to do it, and it's respected, valued, because it is respectable, honest, valuable things that we're doing.
Right.
So how do we get that, Dr. Bond?
Yeah, and so integrity is going to be important at all levels.
Yeah.
And I think even more so in the helping professions, because there's so much at stake.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation. I know we had a show a few months ago about the different pathways in mental health, and there are so many different words and titles and positions that you can get. So it's important that, so we wanted also to share some ideas and some resources today as well, not only for students or current practicing mental health professionals, but also for the public as well.
Yeah.
Right. So the integrity and the accountability is going to be important, not only to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, but so that the public knows what their rights are as well.
Yeah.
And that should something go wrong, they also know what their rights are and what pathways there are to have it addressed.
Right. And I hope in that sort of story, I didn't belabor it, but what I would hope from that people would see that and sadly don't dismiss it, they're just serving food. But as important as it is for something to be done right, knowing that it's done right, and the pride that people who have gone through that training and that experience and paid their dues, as we said, to make sure it's done right, that's no different than that clinician who is operating your heart, that psychologist, psychiatrist who's sitting and trying to help you through that thing, to the coach who wants you to win because she has a winning strategy, the physiotherapist who's trying to get you to rehab much better. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's just a different thing that they're doing in a different. But what Dr. McField to be?
No. One
To
day.
be?
Yes, I need to figure out what I want to get it in.
Yes.
Yes.
And I say that deliberately because of two things. One, always aim high, but two, never for us to understand that if someone's here. I've got, sorry, Dr. Button. Two friends who are, and again, I reached out to them, who are, one's an educator and who is working in sort of law enforcement. And they have opted for all of these years, despite their qualifications, the constant training, she wanted to remain in the classroom. She's, gone to different classes and refused, to take, what do they call it? We could say promotions, and they get moved to places. But she said, no, I wanted to be a teacher. I enjoyed all the frustrations, the thing, that people look at. But she wanted to be in the classroom, helping to nurture the minds of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yet there are some who say, well, why don't you, with all your education, you could go work elsewhere. You could even, leave the classroom, make more money.
Yeah.
That is a pressure, right? But she stayed there because that is whatever she wanted to do.
That was her passion.
That is her,
It's
yeah.
important to honor your passion, hence
Yeah.
why the PhD is a little delayed right now.
But that's the other thing. It doesn't have to come. Dr. Wood?
But also not required for what she's
she-
doing. And so I think that's an important thing to understand,
Yeah.
is that there are different levels of training.
Right.
As far as like counseling and psychotherapy goes, the doctorate
Yes.
would generally allow you to work in, to do more assessments and to work in, with the more difficult,
Right.
but that tends to be more clinical versus counseling psychology even.
Yes.
Right, so there's different details, but to be able to do counseling services and psychotherapy services, and Ms. Felicia's also specialized with the play therapy, so she's credentialed in a specific kind of therapy. So she's already got above and beyond what's needed. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that.
No.
Well, I encourage all my students to
Yeah.
get their doctorate as well.
Right.
What she has is sufficient, and actually
Yeah.
she's already gone above
Yeah.
and beyond.
Well, thank you for that. And this is where I was kind of getting to, because in all the distractions with the weather, and we're going to figure out, make sure people are not dismissive, right? I was looking at this discussion, and I thought, too many of us, as the parent, and by extension the wider community, believe that for you to be, this thing, you need to have, let's say, the PhD or whichever. And like my friend who's the educator, but despite all that, we shouldn't dismiss and say, well, why don't you, do this, given that you have that. It's not that it's not necessary only, right? But in this instance, we need to respect, and without or with, it doesn't matter once you have the competency.
Well, and that's why when I'm meeting with students, my first question is always, what do you want to do? Right? Because there's different, a doctorate may not be necessary, but you can also get people who pursue a doctorate, and this is where we'll talk about the Psychological Association. We've had several students have pursued masters and doctorates, doctoral degrees that they can't practice with. Right? So there's different kinds of doctorates.
Yeah.
And so it's important to have an idea of what you want to do, and then decide
Right.
from there the best pathway for that.
Okay. So when we come back from the break, let's talk about it. And maybe you can share, Ms. McField, some things. And as our people are listening, I appeal specifically to us as parents, because as much as we, the parent, want our children to get this qualification, this thing, sometimes we don't understand that it's not necessary. In fact, when you get it, it maybe take away from other stuff.
Your happiness.
Save your
And
soul.
there you
Grad
go.
school is great.
And then the wider community to also appreciate, right? Because every facet of what you do, if that brings you purpose and fulfillment. So we can talk about that and hopefully find a pathway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll definitely go through all the resources and what's available here.
Yes.
See that? We bring you solutions. We can even provoke, evolve. Who knows what we can do? Stay tuned for Talk Today.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Being that the Cayman Islands is now under hurricane warning, Water Authority Cayman would like to urge all customers to complete all necessary hurricane preparations and to seek shelter if it's needed as soon as possible. Depending on the forecast path and predicted severity of the storm, it may be necessary for the authority to temporarily interrupt water service in order to protect the distribution system. Should this action be necessary, the authority will give as much notice as possible once such a decision has been made. Customers should ensure they have sufficient water stored for drinking and non-drinking purposes. If you're planning to shelter somewhere other than your property, the Water Authority advises you to turn off the customer shut-off valve to prevent unexpectedly high water bills and property damage should a leak occur in your property's plumbing during the storm. Please continue to listen to radio or visit their website and or social media accounts for further updates.
Savings at Brand Source Home Gallery with their 54th anniversary sale. Enjoy store-wide savings on brands like Monogram, Cafe, Fisher & Paykel, Samsung, LG, GE, Beko, Uline, Foster, Thor, Elica, and more. Get from 15% up to 40% off on premium appliances. Transform your bathroom with savings on Duravit, Toto, Moen, Palazzani, Badenhaus, and more. And don't miss out on 20% off cabinets and custom closets just in time for the holidays. Come celebrate the 54th anniversary with a store-wide sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Now through November 16th. Located on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Or call 623-5000 for details.
Step into Winner's Circle Sports to explore fresh arrivals. Choose from the newest lineup of Adidas, Nike, Vans, Converse, On Running, and Jordan. Whether you're gearing up for the weekend with friends in graphic tees, Nike shorts, Nike slippers, prepping for a marathon season with Garmin watch, Asics running shoes, and plush Balega socks, or maybe getting a head start on the holiday shopping with new Jordan retros, shorts, slides, and socks. Winner's Circle has you covered. Make Winner's Circles your go-to for the latest footwear, apparel, and accessories at unbeatable prices. Find us at 12 Walkers Road. Winner's Circle Sports, always a step ahead.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. And although show goes on, and we will have conversations as scheduled relative to our monthly mental health matters, Dr. Alexandra Borden and the excellent company of Ms. Felicia McFeely, as we talk about psychology and the field of psychology and the study. If you don't mind, I'll ask a lot of questions so that I understand, but I always believe something having credibility, being credentials. You give credence to something. There has to be some sort of licensing and recognition and the like. And I don't always know that it should be that way with everything, but for me, you want to be able to test the veracity of something. You want to trust but verify. You want to be able to understand the ingredients in a recipe. If you're referencing something, well, what's the source? I mean, to me, that's normal, right? You're looking at food. Hopefully, you look at expiry date if it's a packaged product. If it's something that you put in the fridge from your garden, you kind of make a note. Well, did I put that in yesterday or last year?
Right.
To me, that's sensible, right? I'm not kind of okay.
Yeah, wanting to check the quality of it.
The quality, right? You want.
And if something feels off, trust your gut.
Right. So if we do that with everything, I mean, the joke is you buy in a car, you kick the tires. I did that. Hurt my foot. Don't do that. Take my brothers. They'll tell you what.
Yes.
But you want to know. So why not with education and training and professionals and the like? Okay. So.
Yeah.
That's the premise that I want to understand.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in looking at integrity, there's going to be a lot of different levels of it. As I said, we'll discuss a couple of them today. But it's going to be providing information on kind of the regulation and how the formal side of it works. But also the importance of having all that proper support and trainings. That's what one of the things I always harp on with my students is the supervised experience is so key. To make sure you have a good supervisor because it's that is the values that you will bring forward. Right. So no matter how great the regulations can be, and Cayman's framework is fairly new, it's still up to each person to act with integrity and to have a set of values and to have that kind of respect and honesty with themselves as well as with the clients that they serve.
So I'm getting that there are a couple of things, and I want you to take me as best as possible. Hopefully those who listen. We're not just talking about professional ethics standards or code of conduct or the like, but we're talking about even the initial sort of, I'll use the word licensing, the education that you get this thing, and then once you're there and you're practicing, you have level of control or oversight or whichever.
Right.
But the groundwork is the proper education and training.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And that's what will then get you a license. And then the accountability continues by having the licensing board check on your continuing education every couple of years. And also they will be responsible for any disciplinary concerns that are raised.
All right, so
if there are any complaints or anything that comes in, then they'll be the ones to decide if it's worth investigating and then potentially investigating. So that they provide a lot of accountability. So it provides credibility in the eyes of the public because they can go and look up your license, which is in Cayman. In Cayman, psychologists and therapists, counselors, and social workers and many other professions in allied health are managed by the Council for Professions Allied with Medicine, CPAM. And our register of all of our licensed practitioners is available on www.dhrs.gov.ky. If you Google CPAM practitioners register, then that will come up. And that's published, I think, twice a year.
Okay.
So
can I then ask and make sure that I don't have this and it's conflated in the Cayman context, and you can decide if it's the same or different other places as well, just as a comparison. But I'm thinking of the financial services, accountants and lawyers, and they have their professional associations, but that's the private thing where they hold themselves. Is CPAM, because you look DRS, that's a Department of Health and Regulatory Services, at Gov, that's a government website. So is CPAM some sort of connected to government in a sense?
Yeah, so CPAM is under DHRS, and so that is the licensing board.
Okay.
So like in the States, doctors, counselors, therapists are registered at the state level. And so that's a great question because I think there's a lot of confusion on that as well. We are the licensing board and we're responsible for taking the application, seeing if credentials and everything is intact, references, medicals, police clearance, everything is there in order to give a license. And then the proper continuing education is done every 2 years to maintain the license. And so that is that they're going to be the one that has whether or not you can practice. There are associations as well that we'd encourage everyone to join, like the Psychological Association, not just because I helped to start it. But even like through my training, that was something that was always harped on to me, was the importance of me being a part of, so I did my training in the States, the American Psychological Association. That provides support, so guidance. They have so much information there in different areas. You can join different committees and different groups that will give you more specialized information on your area. Like there's one for like private practice, there's one for early career psychologists. There's ones for specialists in traumas. These are the ones I was a part of. And that provides a lot of support. It provides another level of credibility because not only am I licensed, but I'm also a member of these professional associations. And so, and that is a growing part in Cayman. So we have the Psychological Association for the mental health sides, and a few of the other professions under CPAM have associations too. So they provide more support and guidance and continuing education opportunities as well. But CPAM would be the one that has the license who says whether or not you can practice.
Okay. And this is where I think it's helpful. And increase I'm saying to us as the parent, we're talking to our children. Some of us are probably, whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we are probably inadvertently, maybe you step back and think, are we nurturing, pushing, directing our children into certain areas? But even if we're not, to be aware of where they're going, what's the importance of once they get that initial degree, is it something that, what's the word I should use?
Well, and that's where we can always have, and you can always ask CPAM, does this meet criteria? The catch with that is that CPAM can review it, and depending whether or not we have enough information, we may tell you to apply, or we may, or it may just be yes or no. So it will vary depending on the case, but really CPAM is just there to say yes or no. The guidance would really come from either teachers and mentors at school, or in the field, or from SEPA, the Psychological Association. That's why I love that we've come together to help. So to be licensed in Cayman, you should be licensed in one of 7 different jurisdictions: U.S., U.K., Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, Jamaica, Australia, which all have very different pathways to licensing and education requirements. So what I love about SEPA is that we've got someone from pretty much every jurisdiction. Actually, I don't know if we have anyone from New Zealand. We do?
I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't think so.
So we have, right, US, UK, Canada, Jamaica covered, right? So we can provide helpful advice to students at different levels coming through. So I think that's an important thing. CPAM can say yes or no if you meet criteria, but we're not really there to provide support at that level. But the Psychological Association is a huge resource that I encourage so I still teach at UCC, I encourage all my students to join, and I encourage, even when I do scholarship interviews, or I'm asked to help anyone with anything, I always encourage them to reach out to SEPA. Because as much as I love to help students, I don't know as much about the UK or Canada. So with that, I'm able to then connect them to someone who knows the system and can provide more helpful, more detailed.
And not that I'm expecting an answer from you, but I'll just ask it out loud, and maybe it'll foster a discussion amongst us as parents, as perhaps people listening in the profession or in government relative to policy or in the education arena. But immediately we have these 7 jurisdictions. Why those 7? Why not one? Why not everyone in the Commonwealth or elsewhere? And then some of you just shared, all those jurisdictions have different criteria. So we're not comparing apples to apples. So if in jurisdiction A you need to do this thing after 50 years, you're good, but in jurisdiction B,
feels like that.
15 minutes of watching a video in Northern, you're good. I'm just trying to be as it's
it
not
can feel like that when you're in it, though. It can feel like that. Like, why is the credentials or the criteria so different? Because when you come here to practice, technically you're all on the same level, but Johnny may have 5 more years of experience and Alice may have 2, but we're all technically on the same playing field, as it should be. But in terms of the work needed to put in, is very different. And a lot of times that extra year, 2 years, can make a difference. Not saying that Alice, who only has 2, can't be as impactful and knowledgeable, but in terms of your own self-development and your identity and your exposure, that extra time does make a difference.
Well, and I think that's where being an informed consumer is so important. Because it's up to, the onus shouldn't be on the community to vet whether or not someone's trained properly as a therapist. You can see you should be able to ask a therapist if they have a license, and they should be able to provide it. You should be able to look it up. And so but it's up, there's all the different kinds of providers and different levels of experience, and so that's where having some idea of what to expect and what their training is can be helpful. And I know we've kind of talked about social workers versus counselors versus psychologists before. but because they'll have different approaches. But anyone that you meet with should be able to tell you about their education and should be able to tell you about their licensing and their credentials. If they've got additional ones, like Miss Felicia has the play therapy, then they should be able to talk about that as well. Like I can talk about my areas of specialty as well.
I would like you to share, but and not to belabor, but even immediate human nature being what it is, we have perception. You know, we buy this thing from that place. It's the same thing that we buy over here, but we believe it's better, right? A thing from somewhere. So we have that perception. But as an informed consumer, we don't always know what to even look for or ask, right? And we make assumptions. There's another question, but I'd be mindful not to ask that yet.
That's okay, because you had asked about the jurisdictions as well.
Yeah.
And I am not, that was before my time, so I'm
I'm not gonna.
I'm the chair for CPAM. So the most I've heard is that it was the Commonwealth, those countries, but there's a lot of variability. But it's also important because I know that people get very frustrated that CPAM isn't more supportive and we don't manage the paraprofessionals. But what's important to keep in mind is that CPAM manages 46 professions from 7 different jurisdictions, which amounts to hundreds or thousands of different kinds of applications that we can see. And so the reality of us as a board of 6 or 7 people being able to provide in-depth support for paraprofessionals and students is just not a reality. And so I think it's important to keep that in mind as well, that while we have the legislation, the board is so broad and diverse that there's only so much that we're able to do. And we do our best to consult and which sometimes can delay things, but that's where we do our due diligence to look up and seek out information as we can. But I think that's important to keep in mind. Like in America, my licensing board does just psychologist. Right? There's no question about all these other professions. Cayman is so small, whether or not that would be sustainable is a great question. But for now, with the current setup and the current framework, CPAM just is a very broad board.
Ms. Byfield, you wanted to jump in?
And I would add that self-advocacy is very important as well. When I came home, there was some difficulty in ensuring that I could get my license to practice here. But I would say that having my mother advocate for me while I was at school and also advocating for myself and having extremely supportive advisors at my school was extremely helpful. And that was a learning course in identifying, okay, what are the differences? Where do I need to fill the gap? Usually you have to aim higher and you'll land where you need to. But that self-advocacy and having someone in your corner is paramount to getting to where you need to be, where you want to be.
Thank you for sharing that. And if I may, if it's okay, I want to commend your mother, parent to parent, right? And something that Dr. Borden, I'm going to ask you probably to chastise me, because I know you're kind and gentle, if I say this wrong. It frustrates me in this country that we've adopted, again, this is the word I'm going to use deliberately, the stupidness of some places when we as parents, we're not talking about doing for our children, you know, we're talking about advocating, nurturing, being there, support, right? When they may not know, or they may just need an extra pair of hands or eyes. They may just need a sounding board, right? And I say that with conviction, and I'm convinced completely that it is accurately how it should be. A fantastic lady that I don't know her. I've read her book. I've interviewed her. Carla A. Harris. It just resonates. She sat right there. And I was chatting with her. And she said, you know, in your life as a professional, you need all sorts of people. And you need a mentor, you need this. She went through her list. It's a book, I think, that you can read it from all kind of lens. And she said, you need a sponsor. You need somebody who's, right? And so, as a parent, you need to advocate with and for your child. Not fill out the form, but maybe look at the form after it's completed. Maybe ask questions, well, do you, and help that child to gain that independence, but never ever feel like sink or swim. And yet we've adopted this stupid mentality that even in the government, oh, you're 16 now, you can't have your parent here. Oh, you're 18 now, you got to do this all on your own. Really?
My mother would never allow that.
But I bet you, like many of us, a parent like her, we're being beaten up by society that, oh, you're doing for your child. You better really are doing for my child because I brought her into this world. I could take
Like, I earned my degrees, but I would not be where I am to this very moment if it wasn't for my mother advocating for me and supporting me.
Please tell her thanks. I mean,
oh, I can do that all the time.
Yeah, no. I can see that. Tell her thanks for me. And the parents out there who are doing that, thank you. And if you're feeling beat up, don't let it. We should join Parents Advocating for Children support group. Because that's crucial. And yet we helicopter parent. We're adopting this stupidness. So that's why I want to be chastised if I'm not using the harsh enough or improper.
I would say it doesn't have to be a parent either.
Aha.
Right? And so that's the something else to keep in mind. Because my biggest mentors were like one of the past teacher, Dr. Smith, who you hear me talk about all the time. Like Dr. Lockhart was a huge mentor for me as well.
Right.
Suzanne
But these are
Thompson,
mentors, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right. It's a different role, but the parents aren't always able to be there, so it can be someone else, another family member, or someone else that.
Or as Carla, you have said, a person who gonna help you, not do it for you, but help you. Sometimes literally, and physically, open the door. Sometimes says, "Let me make a phone call. Let me inquire on your behalf." Whatever. And these are the roles that I think parents should play. Now, if I haven't said it correctly, or if it's misunderstood, I'm not talking about a parent who babies and calls the child and does everything, right?
That's a whole nother problem.
No, right? No. But helping you to find your independence, helping you not to make mistakes that cannot not be undone, but giving you space that, you know what, if you fall, you might get a little hurt. Not too bad, you learn from that. But it isn't because you weren't told. You know what I mean? But maybe helping to avoid falling.
Yeah. Well, I think parents being open to their kids going into different fields, like mental health, as opposed to accounting. So there's a lot of different levels.
Okay.
Or we could get, that parents will play a big role in it.
Right. So and the reason why I say that is that we won't be where we are, and those of us who are, like Ms. McField, we got strong advocates, whether it's a parent or somebody else. And I want parents, in particular today, to stop feeling beat up for being a responsible, engaged, involved parent, because your daughter and son, they deserve no less. I don't want to, but anyway, with that now, in the education and the training, the other question I wanted to say, you as the Council of Professional Allied to Medicine, 7 jurisdictions, however that is and wherever that is, that aside, how many professions you say or how many?
36 currently.
That's what I wrote down, and I thought, it can't be.
Everyone, massage therapists, acupuncturists, chiropractors, physios, ultrasound technologists, laser technicians, nuclear medical technologists, optometrists, acupuncturists, medical herbalists, chiropodists. Chiropodists, that's similar to a podiatrist, but it's non-medical. They're not allowed to do surgery, so we manage them. Listen, I've learned my stuff.
Yeah, and the reason we'll go to the break. We'll come.
Medical laboratory technologists. We also deal with people that work in labs, forensic scientists, EMTs, paramedics. So we do have a range of professionals as well that do medical work. So it's a very broad range.
Some things we'll take the break, but when we come back, some things I want to ask about the professions, but we focus on the psychology. All right, join us after the break. Stay tuned.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us leaders in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage, supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. With the Cayman Islands now officially under a hurricane warning, the Water Authority is advising that they will reconnect services for all customers disconnected in the last month for non-payment. Reconnection will occur today, the 4th of November, to help customers prepare and store sufficient water. After the storm, accounts not in good standing will be disconnected again. In other utilities, Caribbean Utilities Company says it has no plans to stop electrical service due to the impending storm. However, if damages are identified in a specific area, CUC systems will automatically cease service to that area until restoration efforts can begin. If the power goes out due to adverse conditions, crews won't begin repairs until it is safe. In regional news, in Bahamas, Kirk Cornish, the North Abaco legislator, was acquitted of rape and assault charges last Thursday. A 9-member jury unanimously found him not guilty of 2 counts of rape and 1 count of assault after deliberating for under 2 hours. They also returned 6-3 not guilty verdicts on 2 additional charges of assault and threat of death. Justice Renee McKay thanked the jury and acquitted Cornish of all the charges. Following the verdict, Cornish expressed relief, thanked his legal team, and reaffirmed his commitment to the people of North Abaco. He called the trial the most difficult chapters of his life. In Suriname, 4 people, including a woman, are assisting police after gunshots were fired on Clean Water Strat near the office of the president on Monday. A police quick response team found a parked vehicle near the monument and discovered a firearm. 3 men and a woman aged 20 and 24 were found near the car and are being questioned as suspects. Police also retrieved a holder containing 4 live rounds. The police statement did not mention the whereabouts of President Chan Santoki. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Darby Bernard Tibbetts, MBE. Bernard Tibbetts has spent his life serving the people of Kimmebrack. In his youth, he communicated with the island's ships by radio telephone, keeping seamen in touch with their families. He later became a wireless operator and was transferred to Cable and Wireless when it took over telecommunications in the Cayman Islands. In his 45 years working in communication, he undertook private study, enabling him in his spare time to do photo processing and repair the island's cars, trucks, radios, refrigerators, and air conditioners. He also established a family retail business. He served as president of the Kimmebrack High School PTA, director of Kimmebrack Power and Light Company, deacon of Stake Bay Baptist Church, trustee of Little Cayman Baptist Church, and member of the Brack's Hospital Building and Development Committees. In 1983, he was honored by receiving the MBE directly from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. Bernard sings and plays music and has written a number of gospel songs and tracts, as well as a paper about life on Kimmebrack before the modern era.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land. Explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britgay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
I guess, in case you're wondering, of course, we're under a hurricane warning for all three Cayman Islands. Current conditions, this system is about 400 miles southeast of Grand Cayman and 366 miles southeast of Cayman Brac, moving north at 9 miles per hour. Expected to pass between Grand Cayman and Little Cayman by midday Tuesday. Forecast impacts Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. Winds, tropical storm force 35 miles per hour with gusts up to 74 miles per hour. Waves 9 to 13 feet. Rainfall approximately 9 inches between today and the 8th of November. Grand Cayman winds tropical storm force 39 miles per hour with gusts up to 74 miles per hour. Waves 9 to 13 feet. Rainfall approximately 6 inches between today and the 8th of November. Flood and marine warnings are in effect for all three Cayman Islands. All vessels should seek safe harbor, and residents are urged to prepare for the possible flooding and strong winds. The next forecast will be provided at 4:30 p.m. Stay tuned right here to Radio Cayman for further updates.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back, and thanks to Dr. Alexandra Borden and to Ms. Felicia Myfield for joining us. And as we look at our monthly mental health matters, thank you both for not just your determination, your dedication, but the deliberate way you approach your education and the willingness now to share with us. I recognize that inclement weather abounds and as Ms. Susan just shared, we're going to be informed in tones where radio came on, the whether people do their thing, right? But that's part of education too, giving you accurate, timely, credible information that you can trust, not hype, not hyperbole, not this thing to scaremonger and the like. But you don't sit down and expect it to pray away. Faith without works is dead, they say, right?
While they're home, they can look up the Psychological Association, career pathways and mental health.
So something I wanted to ask, again, it may not be for now, you decide, but I keep reflecting on how sometimes it's not a stew or a soup that we're making, we throw it in, right? Because there's some that we selected with the ingredients. As the CPAM, Council of Professors Allied to Medicine, even that alone is kind of almost exhaustive. 7 jurisdictions for now, 46 different professions you list out some of them.
And that's all available in the Health Practice Act and Regulations, the 2021 revision. It's all there.
So then, again, you determine whether it's helpful. But for me, as patient, client, and I want to know, but I'm talking to different people now. I believe, and again, you would share, it's important. Like you interview as much as you would an employee, perspective, something you figure as much. You have a good working relationship. But if you have determined something, and the person across the table is going to be offering, and I want to use the words, and you make sure that they're not the same, or unless they are. I'm looking for a counselor, a therapist, a psychologist. I'm looking for that level of mental health. Are all those terms, I've said synonymous, but do they mean the same? Do they equate the same, or is it interchangeable, or are they completely different?
There's a lot of different terms. So this counselor therapist category is quite difficult to understand. Psychologists, we have psychologist doctoral level, psychologist master's level, psychologist doctoral level is the highest level, and we tend to be the ones that do the assessments, and we tend to be, a lot of us are clinical, some will be counseling, but they tend to work with higher levels of care. And the psychology master's level will vary depending on the jurisdiction, how much they're allowed to do. Some of them are able to do assessments. Counselor therapist will encompass mental health counselors, marriage family therapists, we've got substance abuse counselors, music therapists. There's a lot. So that's where Ms. Felicia was saying that the licensing is difficult in the way it's presented, and that's kind of the catch with that one. That one is kind of a catch-all for anyone who does kind of the supportive, the psychotherapy talk therapies, but the training within that will vary. But if you are planning on seeing someone, they should be able to explain their training and their credentials. I will say that the ones that are regulated, if anyone does hold themselves out to be one of those professions, you can let us know at CPAM. And you can contact CPAM and put it in, because they'll be misrepresenting themselves. So you end up with coaches do a lot of talking and support, life coaches, health coaches, and they have their role and they can be really helpful. Pastoral counselors are kind of a different route as well, because they tend to be more religious than mainstream. Some will be licensed as counselors, some won't. But anyone that you go see should be able to explain their training and the difference, and if they have a license or not. If you're looking for insurance, you're going to need someone who has a license.
I would say also to add, look to see if they have their degrees or diplomas presented where a client could see them. Also look to find where their CPAM registration is. That should be there. And also if you're in any other associations, that should also be there.
And the HPC, so in Cayman, the providers have to be licensed and the facility has to be licensed. If they are licensed, it has to be displayed at the front. So all of that should be easily visible. The CPAM, psychiatrists will be MDC because they're medical doctors, but most of us will be CPAM, as well as the healthcare facility license from HPC.
I want to ask a number of things, and I certainly want you guys to share. I mean, please forgive me for, I'm told I have this propensity to learn this inquiry mind. I've enjoyed it.
That's
for
great,
the
though.
teachers.
Yes.
Well, tell my teachers they didn't like that. You asked a question again. My economics teachers, they enjoyed that.
That's unfortunate for the teacher.
Yeah, but glad my sisters were smart. I just set a good foundation. But I want to ask, with that in mind, the notion of licensing and these things, as a client, as a consumer, in that sense, when I go into the office, if they're not there, should I ask?
Yeah, You are entitled
That's
to
what,
ask.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask.
So you're advocating for yourself.
Yeah, ask.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't see it or if they, whatever, call CPAM.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to use an analogy. We know that doctors and lawyers, if a person holds him or herself out as being a doctor or lawyer, they can. There's an issue. People understand some of that. In this instance, with all of the license, all of the professions, the allied, the CPAM license, is there any in there that a person should not be holding themselves out as a psychologist, or if they do, you see the report, which ones can say that they are, which ones should say that they're not, or whatever?
It will they're allowed to use the title on their license. Yeah, and that's what they are.
Okay.
And if they're not licensed, they shouldn't be using that title.
Yeah, because I don't want to belabor it, but it's good. Yeah.
And if anyone has questions about this, or you think something's not quite right or not working properly, call CPAM, email CPAM. They can talk it through with you, let you know how to submit a question or a complaint. And we get questions from not only from the public but also from providers, and we are a resource there for support. So the professional associations can be a great support and resource to call, be like, hey, this happened. So I always harp on the importance of good supervision.
Yes.
Once you are licensed, you can either still have a supervisor or just professional consultations easier, especially in Cayman, because things happen here because they're so small. They don't happen other places. And so it can be really helpful to have some support and guidance. Because should CPAM call, what you need to be able to, or whatever licensing board you're working with, that's always kind of what I say, is that you need to be able to explain why you did what you did. Right? Some things are not always black and white, so you just need to be able to explain your thought process, and if you do have a consultation with another professional, have it documented, so it's clear what's going on.
Okay.
We would like to think that when things are done, it's done with the best of intentions.
Right.
But should there be a question or concern or even a complaint filed, that's going to be important that you're able to explain why you did what you did.
All right. So with that, looking at the questions here, but I think I can.
Our ethics are also posted, and that's up there too. And obviously, it's such a broad board that that it's not going to be specific to anything. Like it's not going to be specific to mental health, right? Because it applies generally, but we do have all of the major areas covered.
And I appreciate you helping us to understand this pathway. And I was just thinking that this is where we need to advocate. We need to be our best, sort of supporters and do our due diligence as we would, right? We accept what the banks tell us without question, and we complain, but we, acquiesce. In this instance, if I was looking for a counselor, a therapist, a psychologist, all those words in my mind are synonymous. But I want this thing, so I need to know what is I'm looking for, and then make sure that it accords not just the personal fit, but they bring the credentials. Would that be the?
Yeah. Well, that also comes down to integrity as well. So, usually how it works in that they'll call the clinic, they'll set up an intake, and then in the intake you'll discover what the presenting concern is, and the professional would figure out, okay, so for example, if someone came in with me and they had a drug addiction, that is not my specialty. My due diligence would say, okay, based on what you're presenting, this is what I'm hearing. That is outside of my scope. I will refer you to X, Y, or Z. Yeah. If it's within my scope and I would need supervision with that, I would seek out a doctoral level, so my director for support. But if I know it's outside of my scope and I can't get, even if you can get the training in the midst, don't do that to yourself. The client deserves more care. And also going back to that higher level of care. So if I have clients who have significant diagnoses, particularly like a personality disorder, that is outside of my scope. Can I provide it with supervision? Yes. But at the same time, it would be a team effort.
Right.
Yeah. And making it a team effort means that that doctoral level clinician can step in at any time, or it can be an easier transition to them. Because not saying that, those diagnoses that they're hard to manage, but if the care requires that transition, it is there.
Yeah.
But it goes down to integrity and advocacy within your role for your client.
So ethics.
And having respect for your ability and respect for the client. I liked what you said about making sure it's what's best for them.
Yeah. Well, we know, just generalizing that people, you ask them if they can do something. Oh yeah. The answer is yeah, we can do that, right? that's the norm for most people, right? You want your house painted, they never saw a paintbrush in their life, but they're painted. Matt Brown's play What Happened, and if you haven't seen it, that's their work, right? Many of us, that's how we approach it. So ethics and integrity is key, is what you shared.
There's some things that you can learn as you go.
Yeah.
And even though, we are seasoned professionals, we still have to do different courses to stay, because psychology is forever changing. But if you know that as outside of your scope, that is your due diligence as a professional, but also you're in the field to care for someone. That is a way of showing that you care about them and being honest with them. So some clients might say, oh no, I really want to stay with you. Validate that, but also say, because I care about you so much, I want to make sure that you get the help that you need. Now, if your care level goes down, then maybe we can reintroduce a professional relationship. But at this time, I can't provide that for you.
And think about it, as you said, you've gone to a medical doctor who specializes in, well, we're not going to use podiatry, but let's use, right?
Thanks to the chiropodist.
Yeah. and may have that knowledge because, she's trained significantly, but she's a practicing cardiologist. She thinks you need, to go see the nephrologist, for instance, or, yeah, she could tell you, we'll happily accept that recommendation. Let me refer you over to somebody else. This is the same thing, right? In principle.
It is, and it's hard, but probably more difficult because we all have the same license and title.
But this is
so it does complicate things. But that's also where, as professionals, we should be invested in respecting our limits and networking. So the Psychological Association offers a lot of contacts and opportunities to meet other therapists, because it's one thing to be like, I don't do substance abuse. It's another to be like, but I know who does. There's this person, this person. Let me know who you'd like to see.
Right.
So it's up to us as well, because you've got two of the best Caymanian therapists here, and I'm so glad that there's more of us coming up. But there's a lot of people that come in that are from other countries that won't know everything that's around. So it's important that they put in the time and effort to, and even the Caymanians that have come up that maybe aren't as into the mental health side of things and connected with us, to make the efforts to reach out to get to know who else is available, so you can help with referrals.
And this is where I'm honored.
If I could add as well, I think when there was so few professionals, like when I was growing up, I think that people did do everything, and you still kind of have to be a generalist. But the reality is that today there's over 100 therapists in Cayman, so there's no need for all of us to do everything, and it's more important that we do what we do well. Right, and that we have respect for everyone and for the process, and that we do have those professional colleagues that we refer out.
Right, and it is, as I look at this quick message, I almost want to read it verbatim, but I don't think it's intended for public consumption, so I'll apologize to the person, because I think it's a nice message. Wants to commend both of you on sharing your professional acumen, your education, and hopefully, and I'll sort of paraphrase, but I support what was shared. Through you, more of us will be commended and for our achievements, but also encouraged to have the discipline, make that investment now. You know what? 10 years from now, you look back and it was yesterday, but you have whatever this is that gives you the credentials, it gives you the portability, and you can stay in the room with and help. Well, this was the part the person said that I hope the person will forgive me. Because we like to believe that something from elsewhere, it doesn't matter where it is. Once it's not from down the road, belong to us, it doesn't have the same credentials. But speaking to you guys, for those of us who have been privy to it, you come with serious academic credentials that you didn't buy off a crack job box.
No,
right?
I'm very proud of the school that I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Center of Play Therapy is within my school.
Yeah.
So, so I was taught by some of the leaders in play therapy, and they're respected worldwide.
Yeah.
So having that opportunity to go there, and it was just by chance. I went to the school because they had a great psych program, and then I fell in love with Texas, so I stayed. I applied to different schools in Texas, and I got in, and they were my number one, because a lot of the research was coming out from the Center of Play Therapy at UNT.
Yeah.
And some of the leaders and pioneers in different facets of play therapy were my professors.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't top that.
That's awesome.
So going back to making sure that you do your due diligence as a student, to find out what is your niche and where can I go. Apply. If you don't get in, all right, you can transfer.
Well, I'll say this, and you know me. I think about what I say, and I stand behind what I. In the Cayman context, I hope that we, as of today, if we haven't done it before, in listening to you, have respect for our people who have put in the time, have earned the credentials, and not disparage them because they didn't come from wherever that was. It could be next door, it could be across the pond, it could be. We have some of the best and the brightest. Thank you for sharing that. We need to respect and recognize our own. And secondly, stop selling ourselves short. Let's come together, right, and reach out and support other people. Do it, Stop saying we're crabs in a barrel. Stop saying, and disparaging. You guys have encouraged me, motivated me. If I didn't have another reason to do what I plan to do, you know what? I'm gonna get healthy. I start running. I mean, it's gonna be good, man. Right? Thank you for that. Thank you.
Well, and whereas things can feel quite competitive and like you're all alone or struggling, I think that's where having the professional associations can be really helpful to reach other like-minded professionals and get to know them. And things happen in Cayman you don't deal with other places, unless you're in like a really small remote areas. So it can be so helpful just to have someone else around and be like, yo, you won't believe what happened today. This is what I think I should do. What are things that you've done with this in the past? Being Caymanian brings up very unique things, being related to many people, where people know. Absolutely. But those are things that's not something that my school in Florida was going to teach me. So that's where having supervision when I came home and continuing to have friends. Like I still call my friends from graduate school, my colleagues in the States, but it's so helpful to have people here that are working here that understand and that you can share ideas with as well.
And going back to what you said, Dr. Borden, just someone who looks and sounds like you. It's so important. I know for a lot of my clients that sometimes it's just even body language. And for them to feel seen and heard by someone who looks like them.
Who sounds like them. Who
like
relates.
them. And what you said too about, in the past there were not that many Caymanian therapists and psychologists. And I'm so excited that we have so many more coming back because as a country, we can acknowledge there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, but sadly, we don't have enough professionals to address them, and we can only do so much. But having more Caymanians coming back with different levels of credentials is important for young Caymans to see. Okay, I don't want to talk to Mr. Smith because he might not understand what it is like to have my grandma, my papa, and my aunt live in the same house with me, but Miss Borden might know, Dr. Ebanks might know, and to know, from a cultural aspect that you can relate to them. Because that genuineness, you can't fake that. It's either you have it or you don't have it.
And there's a little nuances that we like to talk about. I mean, one day I was, in prayer, and hopefully, God was continue to be merciful. And I say, man, part of the reason why I'm not here is because he's not speaking like a Caymanian. But that ability to be able to relate, it's nothing to do with the person. Otherwise, it's just how do you, not everybody wants a Jula Mango, right?
No, Caymanians deserve to have Caymanian therapists.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll understand the importance of this, that we'll encourage and nurture, and we'll get there because we've set it on the right path. So when we return as well, that we ensure that we have that space for our people.
Well, that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, well, but we'll get there.
Yes, we will.
Yes, I hope. If anyone has questions, though, they can reach out. If it's professionals or students, the Psychological Association can be a huge resource. And if it's looking more specifically at licensing and pathways to licensing, you can reach out to CPEM through DHRS. There's a lot of resources here for guidance, for support, and no wrong way to start. I think all of us, any of the guests I've had on, are also willing to discuss ideas and options.
You helped me when I was in grad school.
Oh.
You did.
Okay.
I think I still have the email too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where to go and what
yes,
to do?
you did.
Awesome.
You did.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you for acknowledging it. She does that.
Yeah, she did. And I know she was very busy then too. She got back to me within 24 hours.
Yeah, man. And that's the one thing I really thanks. It's back to you for sharing, because that is Dr. Borden that I know.
It is.
She reaches out, responds timely, and guides you when it comes to education. And
And if I don't respond in a timely manner, I am very busy. Please call, email, or message me again.
She's also a mother, okay?
Take it personal.
She's also
Keep calling, keep emailing, please.
But we joke, but any of us who are parents, that like you shared, we're advocating for our children, we're involved. One of my sisters reminds the rest of us, you cannot be a lazy parent. We're not doing for our children, we're doing with. Sometimes we're opening the door because their hands are full. Sometimes they're not strong enough to open the door. Sometimes they don't even know there's a door there. Sometimes a door was there put deliberately by somebody to block them because it opens another path. But if your mom or your dad don't come and say, listen to me, that door will just open you. Either you open it or I kicking you through it. People get frustrated. But maybe that's what needs to be done.
Yeah, sometimes a loving push, but also to be as empathic as you can.
Right.
Because just some individuals have neurodivergence or learning differences. So a different approach might be necessary.
Right.
And you just equipping yourself as a parent or as a guardian or as a family member with as much knowledge as you can. Always ask for help. There's never a stupid question. Always ask for help. And if A didn't help you, go to B.
That's right.
Yeah.
Leave no stone unturned. I mean,
yes.
Maybe in my mind, the only stupid question is the one that's not asked. I mean, I can ask them.
Yeah.
Right.
Ask away. If somebody get frustrated with you, go to the next person.
Yeah.
And likewise, like as students come to me and there's something I don't know, or parents, anyone that calls me, hopefully we'll be able to pass you on to someone and connect you to whoever can.
Mama says, what? Nothing beats a try but a failure.
Yes.
Right.
Well, please, collectively and individually, whether on this show or other segments, please come on and through your industriousness, we would inspire other people to pursue continued knowledge acquisition. That comes in many facets, but, thanks so much. Any quick final thoughts, Ms. McField, you may want to leave on?
Make sure that you have a supportive network around you, a very diverse supportive network around you. My parents have very different backgrounds, but they were both supportive in different ways, and I learned different things from them. But I also have other family members and other people in the community, whether my community is in Cayman or Texas, that advocated for me, but also to dig deep and know that you have what it takes if that's what you want. And also be open to different things, because I wanted to be a family lawyer. And then I was like, hold on, I'm not going to make that much money. And then I became a therapist, and that answered that. But also, being passionate about what you want. I didn't realize what I wanted to do until I was in my last semester of undergrad school. And then I was like, UNT is right there. And I applied and I got in. But even if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have given up to be wherever I wanted to be. But to embrace your support system, to embrace your friends, but also to have faith in God that He will place you exactly where He wants you to be, and you do your ultimate best in giving thanks to that, but also giving thanks to your support system.
Thank you for that. Dr. Warden?
That was amazing.
But yes, thank you.
I would say just, there's resources, there's supports out there. And I know I kind of just listed CPAM and CEPA, but within CEPA there's such a wealth of knowledge. CPAM as well is comprised, the board is comprised of several professions. So, all these professions are valid professions. They're out there, they're options. And anyone in the community has the right to know who they're working with and what's going on. And for the professionals as well, there's support as well. It's not just do it, don't do it. It's helpful to reach out and get a second opinion on what your options might be. So, but it's also up to all of us to maintain the integrity of the field, supporting each other, holding each other accountable, and making sure that we do the best that we can with every person that we see.
Well, I want to wish you a wonderful week. My prayers that this weather will dissipate, and all of us as we prepare will be sensible and safe and not take anything for granted, because a good kite breeze can be havoc if you're not prepared. So it's best, we've been forewarned, so now we are forearmed. Yep.
So we do not take any chances, but also to be prepared, but to carry on living.
Right. And with that, next segment we'll have a chance to talk to Mr. Amanda Roberts, kind of continue education with it. 2 p.m. We'll get an update from the BRAC. Mr. Mark over there will join us. So we'll have that conversation. We can find out more. Hey, we're planning to go in. Thanks to Miss Norma. Fantastic. For not being a BRAC. She's a good person. We're going to pause and take a break. Join us after.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The STEPS National Health Survey results indicate that the Cayman residents spent 50% more time in sedentary activity in 2023 than in 2012. The World Health Organization recommends 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day for adults. With Pirates Week around the corner, start today. Park a little further from the events and get a few more steps in. To learn more, log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Reflections annual countdown to Christmas sale is on now. Ladies, save 50 to 75% off selected fashion clothing, selected Adidas, Puma, and Nike sneakers discounted from 25 to 50% off. Make your gift giving super easy this year by getting Reflections gift certificates for everyone on your list. Converse kicks starting at $25 and bargains galore throughout the store. Guys, cargo pants, big and tall, $5.50. Levi's and selected Docker pants, 25% off. Every purchase above $49 at Reflections gives you the opportunity to win 2 free tickets to any Cayman Airways destination of your choice. Open Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Shop Reflections on Shen Road beside the Mango Tree.
See yourself in Reflections. Reflections, always driving down prices.
The Cayman Islands remain under a hurricane warning. Some things to tell you about. The Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority, CINAA, office and all the attractions, Botanic Park, Pedro St. James, Craft Market, and Hell Geological Site are all closed to the public as of 1 p.m. today. Also, attention farmers and valued customers, the Department of Agriculture wishes to inform you of their operating hours today and tomorrow. The DOA Sales Office, Warehouse, Plant Nursery will be open until 5:30 this evening. All DOA Grand Cayman offices open until 5, and all DOA Cayman Brac offices will be open until 4:30 this afternoon. All Department of Agriculture offices in Cayman Brac and Grand Cayman will be closed tomorrow, November 5, due to the inclement weather approaching. DOA strongly encourages all farmers to stock up on essential livestock and agricultural supplies in preparation for the incoming storm. Livestock farmers in particular should take note of the key safety points. Be aware that flooding can happen suddenly. Plan potential escape routes for animals at risk of drowning. Elevated areas. If possible, allow animals access to higher ground, such as mounds, hills, or alternative pastures to ensure their safety. Electrical hazards. Stay away from electrical lines and wires to avoid danger. Ensure that all containers are properly secured to prevent damage or contamination. For any emergency livestock situations, please contact the DOA immediately. Their main line 947-3090, mobile line 916-2218, Cayman Brac main line 948-0522, Cayman Brac cell line 925-5765. Stay tuned to the Department of Agriculture social media page for more information on how to protect your livestock, domestic animals, and crops during the storm.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks again to Miss Susan. She not just so accurately, but wonderfully read it. Not because she did it, so I didn't have to do it, but thank you for that. Please, stay tuned. Radio Cayman, get informed and involved in whatever my personal perspective would be. I'm glad I got my brothers to rely on because they keep me safe as well. Radio Cayman will update you in a very, very timely way. And as we continue our program, thanks to our colleague in sales, Mr. Ray, for setting up this discussion with the fantastic Miss Amanda Roberts. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Lovely to be here, Sterling. I wish it was not a sort of weather situation, though, because we have got an event tomorrow night.
Well,
but we're sort of working on possible alternatives, so we can talk about it a bit more anyway. But we are, we've got a school event tomorrow with Mr. Drude from Virginia, and we're just kind of working on it. But we do still encourage people to register because then we can call them and tell them exactly when we're doing it.
But it's kind of like with today's program, right? It is our first Monday of the month. We have our monthly mental health matters, which is important. And Dr. Borden has been fantastic for this decade plus. We facilitate that discussion. We could make changes. We could decide, well, let's change, or we can watch and pivot, as they say. Let the landscape, as fluid as it is, let it unfold, and you be receptive, you be proactive, but you also be properly positioned so that when you do respond, our people are prepared, right? You don't bury heads in the sand. I mean, I don't think you do that anyway, right? So as we talk about the discussion, thanks. Education is key. We had a chance on, health discussion, my topics that I think are most significant. So
I know you've always been a very good advocate for all things educational.
Well, I credit my parents for that. Thank you. You learn, and learning isn't just about being able to pass a test. Learning is about having something that takes you through life. That instrument that you can play maybe 3 notes. Most songs are 3 notes. So, Mr. Drude, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I think we had middle school on sometime.
We have done it. I think we have before, probably when May Sam have come.
I think Mr. Hale was there.
Yeah. It was a while back, and I reflect on it because I was impressed not only with the location, but some of the offerings and the way you presented it. But this is, another discussion. Mindful that we'll let the time fly on. So through you, Miss Amanda, set the stage, and we'll have Mr. Drude share with us.
Yes, well, Middle School of Albemarle is in Virginia, and it's in a beautiful location with a huge campus, 1,100 acres. And I declare an interest as a past parent. Our youngest son, Will, was there. Unfortunately, he hit COVID time, so it was a bit tricky for him, and he lost out a lot on grade 12, obviously missed out. But we absolutely love the school. But we've also had a very good cohort of Caymanian students who have thrived at the school and felt comfortable there, and love it to bits. So love their time on the hill, as they say, and have embraced the programs that the school offers.
Probably capital in some of the places not that far away. But Mr. Drude, through you, tell us about Mill. And there was something, if I recall correctly, it was your approach to your teaching and learning, but we talk about that a bit. But share with us.
Well, I'll just go back to something that you just said about learning, because our founder, 150 years ago, had a vision for a school that not only had kids learn things, but learn how to do things. So our motto is mind, hands, and heart. We take that very seriously 150 years later. So having hands-on, the ability to really roll up your sleeves, have hands-on learning is a major part of our program, whether it's in the sustainable agriculture classes or design build or the art classes, the engineering courses. We really take a hands-on approach. We really think kids learn a lot more and a lot deeper when they can actually do things and learn how to work.
And they remember it. They know how to apply it. They see the impact. It's then and there. It's not theoretical. You're not speaking to an esoteric audience. It's something that is meaningful.
Correct.
And it's relatable, and then they can use it later on. And that's what education is supposed to be. But anyway, that's just what I think.
And we believe every one of our students has a unique journey, educational journey. That it's not a cookie cutter approach. Right. Everybody has. We're very individualistic in our approach with education.
I'll ask Miss Amanda, and you decide whether you wish to respond. Because I'm going to ask you as a parent, right? You declared your interest.
Okay, I have.
We not understand, so we're not going to treat you as a hostile witness, right? But those who do law, they understand differently. That's Miss Amanda Roberts Normandy, and we will talk about, the fair you have up the event. But as a parent at, middle school, and you had the unique perspective of evaluating many spaces, and you made a choice, but only if you wish to share. Why? I mean, Cameron Airways doesn't have a direct flight. That's kind of why I picked the school I went to. But
yeah, well, for us, one of the factors was baseball, because Will wants to play baseball, and they have a very high level baseball program coached by Billy Wagner, who's well known to people of a certain age as an amazing pitcher of his time. And but also when we'd seen a few schools with Will, and he absolutely got onto campus and started smiling. And I think you just get there and you think, oh gosh, it'd be great to be here. And I think having seen his sort of miserable face go around some other schools, when he did that, I thought, well, I guess we've found it. And and this is kind of when I talk to other families about finding, getting the right boarding school, is if you can do campus visits, it's brilliant, because it's just getting that feel. Are you going to be comfortable living here as a student? And he just obviously felt he was going to be. And we found it incredibly friendly, with all the people approachable, including our lovely headmaster here, Mr. Drude. I felt I could contact him if I needed to, if I had a problem, and everybody was very receptive and part of basically a big family.
And Mr. From that perspective, I think attending the event, you're going to buy a car. You probably test drive a couple of cars, right?
You need to find the right fit. You need to ensure that it's socially, academically, and as you said, Will got onto campus and began smiling. That's how I feel when I'm on campus. It's just the beautiful in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and just the nature, 1,100 acres of just wonderful place.
It's a little bit bigger than my backyard, but okay. For small wouldn't work there. So for those who listen, tell us about middle school. I mean, what would it, for parents who are thinking for their children, what is it that you're offering, how you present it, so that they give it consideration?
Well, I think one of the biggest strengths that we offer is it's now in its 4th year. It's called the Student Success Center, and it's like I said before, we take an individual approach. Every student, we honor the individual. So the Success Center will meet with every student, 255 students. They will meet individually throughout the year, and every student will have a success plan, and every success plan is different. And we know that over time that success plan is going to change. But they look at what the outcomes that the young person wants, or the goals that they have, whether it's getting into a certain college or going on to a certain thing after they leave Miller. And then they work back and they put together the classes and the coursework, and they work closely with the director of college guidance. They work directly with the faculty. So it's it's a team approach.
Right.
And that really kind of sets us apart.
And unless you wish to jump in, Miss Amanda?
No, I think that's very accurate, and it's very important. And a lot of kids, especially boys, aren't very neat and tidy and have to struggle with executive functioning and, find their bits of homework.
Hey, there are two boys here. I mean, two men.
The bits of scrumpled up homework that are in their bag. I mean, also within that success centre, they can help keep them on track with their homework and, just get them doing better.
And that's what I was hoping to ask, because when you say the Student Success Center, right, what is that like? And I was going to ask, there are many, I know there's another terminology for it, but I'm familiar with it being an IEP for each student.
Yeah, so our approach is different. So this is, the center is actually located in the heart of our main building. It's right next to the library. It's the sort of intersection point of, you have to pass the center to go to class, to get to the dining hall, the chapel. It is an active, from 8 a.m. till well past dinner. It's an active place that kids just stop in. We have peer tutoring. We have math, folks who come in and do math tutoring. We've got people who can instruct in writing. I mean, it's just a nonstop activity where it's not. The kids like to be there. They are. It's welcome. It's.
I guess the name says student success because many times we, the parent, what we want to see is the report card, if there's such a thing these days, and we're looking at how many, grades. Let's just use the letter A. That are not there. So there could be 15 subjects and 14 A's and one B plus. We don't see the 14 A's. We focus on the B plus, and we spend a lot of time and energy trying to get that up to the A and then drop to the 14. So that's success that the student is what you're looking at. The all around.
It's all around. It's so it's our motto is mind, hands, and heart. So we take a holistic approach to every student. Community service is an important factor in what we do. So it's not just the grade; it's the whole person.
And so academics were evident from Ms. Amanda's personal experience. You talked about the athletics. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, maybe share more with us. And then, of course, tomorrow evening, you can tell us about the event.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
Please join us. Mr. Mark Tibbetts will be your guest 2 p.m. But when you come back, we ask you to continue for the segment.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
In anticipation of Tropical Cyclone 18, Water Authority Cayman will reconnect service to all customers who were disconnected in the last month for non-payment. Reconnection will take place today, Monday, 4th of November. This is to ensure that all customers can make the necessary preparations and store sufficient water for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Following the passage of the storm, any accounts not brought to good standing will be disconnected again. The authority encourages all customers to take note of the various storm preparedness recommendations, which can be found at www.caymanprepare.gov.ky, and the water and the sewage tips on their website at www.waterauthority.ky. Please continue to follow official channels, listen to Radio Cayman, of course, and visit their website and our social media accounts for further updates.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And I must say publicly what I share privately sometimes, that in the good company of Mr. Amanda Roberts at Normandy, you inspire thinking and intellect. You encourage the pursuit of knowledge, and you almost call us just by your presence to feel, the incumbency of being a strong advocate as parents.
Well, I do think it's important that we try to do the best for our children. I mean, that's the bottom line, isn't it? Do the best for your children, and whether that be a boarding school or whether it's a day school at home, that it's what's going to be the right fit for those kids, and what you can afford, and what you can make the best of. So I try to present a wide portfolio of schools, and then strongly advocate for, if I feel a child is the right fit for those schools, and encourage them to have that as an option. We don't say you must go to this school or anything like that. We just try and get to have good options on the table. And Miller seems to have suited a wide range of Cayman kids. I mean, some have gone for basketball, as well as the academics. We always look at the academics first. But we are a very sporty nation, so obviously if a kid wants to do basketball or baseball or soccer, tennis, we're also trying to get that one into the mix of where they can thrive in that as well.
You're right, increasingly. So as I asked, Mr. Mike to share more about Miller Boarding School, but tonight we can relax and enjoy it. Hopefully our prayers will be answered, and then tomorrow night's event.
Yeah, well that's it. I mean. Mr. Drude's here for obviously we're having a showcase and presentation of Miller School at the Compass Loft tomorrow night, which obviously looks like it's not on the cards anymore. It was going to be Compass Loft at 6 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday. We are looking at alternatives to when we could move it to, whether we can move it to Wednesday, whether Mr. Drude can stay on or not, and still get a flight out when he's meant to get back to looking after the school and running the school, but we do encourage people to still register. The event can be found on our website, on the Miller website, on Facebook, and also at Eventbrite. It's there. So if whether it's on tomorrow night or another time, I would ask you to register today and tomorrow morning, so that we can then contact you and say, right, it's not going to be tomorrow at 6, it's going to be this. But we're going to just have to roll with the punches with the weather and do all the best we can.
You prepare, and if it transpires, if it needs to be postponed, but register. So is it Normandy?
Yeah, the website, it is Normandy, or there's the Miller School website. There's plenty of adverts for the event on social media, but the Eventbrite Cayman, if they just go to that, it's there, then you can just register there.
Okay. So Drude, from that perspective, as we wrap up our discussion, as we head up to the 2 p.m. headlines, your age for your boarders, tell us to the parents who are listening, the invitation to join and why, and what sort of ages you cater to.
Sure. So our boarders are from the 8th grade up to senior year. We have 2 dormitories, one for the boys, one for the girls. Kids from all over the world. We have a wonderful student experience department. That's the group of folks who are the dorm parents and the folks who are there to ensure that the kids have wonderful activities during the weekends and weeknights, so that they really feel at home and they really feel like they have a support system in place for them and their friends.
And as I think back to, we now at a certain age recognize, Ms. Amanda used the word advocate. And I think that's what we need to be. We need to be our best advocates, but we need to have people, our parents. Ms. Backfield earlier, the segment, use the same word, And that's what I'm hearing increasingly. We're standing in the gap, we're standing we're nurturing, we're supporting, we're ensuring that there's a safe space, but there's also the success. But it comes back to us being in partnership. So prayerfully, the event, hopefully we'll be able to, unfold tomorrow.
We'd like, them to hear more about, Mr. Drude probably got half a minute to say about particularly a newish program, the Sustainable Agricultural Program.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's important to me that schools take advantage of their unique assets, and we have this 1,100-acre campus. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we have a fully designed, full-fledged sustainable agriculture program where we have animals, chickens, cows, sheep. We have a greenhouse. We have a hydroponic garden. Some of the food that we have in our dining hall has been grown right on campus. So the kids really have an opportunity to get their hands dirty, to really learn about modern farming techniques. And, again, it's just learning how to see a project through to the finish, how to work.
Yeah, you get to appreciate a lot. I mean, as you share the notion that many of us eat, but we have no clue, not only what we eat, but where it's come, how do you get it there. So that is a teaching opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh. Well, tomorrow you say 6 p.m. God's willing.
6 p.m. at the loft, but potentially not, obviously. Okay. But do please keep in touch, register for the event, and then we can come back to you and say, right, we can't quite do it tomorrow because of the weather, but we will do it on whenever day, and I hope you can still come.
Well, as you shared, if they register beforehand, you'll be able to contact
Absolutely,
them.
Leave an email and a phone number, and I'll get back to you.
Life goes on. Any other thoughts in closing, Mr. Drude, you wish to share?
We've had such a success with the several members of Cayman Islands. They're just such great members of our community, and they've gone off to do some really impressive things. So I'd love to meet some more families and talk hopefully tomorrow night.
Well, I hope that you'll be able to. I know Miss Amanda will be back with us in short order, so always a pleasure.
Thanks very much, Stanley.
All right. We'll pause and take the break. Stay tuned for headlines, and then the District Commissioner over in Iraq, Mr. Mark Tibbetts, will join us by phone right after. Stay tuned.
According to a police...
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. Government schools remain open today but will be closed tomorrow. The announcement applies to government schools and the University College of the Cayman Islands. Private schools are expected to follow the government's lead. However, parents with students at private schools should verify their operational status and hurricane preparedness directly with their respective schools. The Department of Environmental Health informs the public of changes in landfill operations and garbage collection services. There will be no garbage collection and all landfills will be closed tomorrow, Tuesday the 5th of November. The service interruption may cause a delay of at least 1 day. The DEH asks for patience as they work to resume regular services. Effective immediately, derelict vehicles, scrap metals, and used oil will not be accepted until further notice. Normal collection and landfill operations are expected to resume on Wednesday, the 6th of November, subject to further forecasts. In regional news, the Guyana Police Force is investigating an alleged robbery and abduction involving Guyanese and Brazilians in Region 9. According to a police statement on Saturday, masked and armed men carried out the crime targeting 4 Guyanese and 6 Brazilians. The incident occurred at the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. A joint services team pursued the suspects who abandoned their vehicle with the abducted individuals, all of whom were rescued unharmed. Governor Daniel Pruce of the British Virgin Islands has halted the recruitment process of a new commissioner of police, initially set for the 30th of November. The evolving security challenges necessitate redefining the skills required for the job. The decision follows a review highlighting 138 recommendations of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Current candidates can reapply under the new criteria. Senior RVIPF leaders will fill the interim gap. This comes amid an internal investigation into a high-ranking police officer. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage. Supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. And thanks too, as you stay tuned and recognizing that we not only on Talk Today in particular want to ensure that we continue with our programming, but we are mindful and we want to share with you our appreciation, but we also are respectful that many of us are still preparing. Some of us are understanding and following the instructions from our National Weather Service. The Director General, together with Mr. Kerry, they're all doing a fantastic job. We know that some are out and about trying to get, added preparations relative to, their hurricane supplies. And even if they had in their minds, we got enough, always want to get some more. But if you're in traffic or if you're in the supermarkets, as best as you can, whatever frustrations and aggravations and stresses and stressors that you feel about, try to be as patient and loving and kind and meaningful and mindful of, other people might be feeling a sense of anxiety more than you, not as much as you. So together, let's manage, our responses, let's control our actions, let's make sure that we, put ourselves in a position that we're adding in a helpful way and not creating more havoc or frustrations or the like for others. So if we take ourselves and check ourselves and try to do what we can in the best way, but individually, if we all did that, then we'll find it to be orderly and calm and sensible and safe. There are societies for which this is the norm. That's the way they do it. It's been that way, for generations, for centuries. But it probably starts somewhere where initially, everybody eventually gets on the same page. And then there are societies where it's a free-for-all. People are running, pushing, shouting, cussing, and screaming. That seemingly, might be what works there. It's not the society we want here. It's not the one that I knew growing up. And it doesn't mean that things aren't different. It just means that maybe we need to be a little more attentive, a little more responsive, a little bit more kind, as I said, loving and considerate and conscious, and recognizing that with this it can be added frustration and angst. But what are we doing? Well, how are we responding? Let's do our part to make sure that our response is respectful, and we're doing it as we can, so that it helps and not hinders, hurts, nor harms. Alright, we're going to connect hopefully with the District Commissioner, Mr. Mark Tibbetts, over in the BRAC in a bit, and hear about their plans, how things are happening there. And if you are in a position to offer up help to others, please do so. But we all, irrespective of how little we think we can do, we all can do something that helps. Alright, this is Mr. Tibbetts as we go to the telephone lines. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm doing quite well over on this side.
Well, our prayers are with all of us, in the Cayman Islands, all of us in the path of inclement weather. I want to thank you, though, as you go through your preparations, for giving us some time to share, from the BRAC's perspective. So we're going to listen and hopefully be able to learn and engage.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on here this afternoon. I want to say good afternoon to all of your listeners, like you said, throughout the wonderful Cayman Islands. No doubt today, I'm quite certain everyone within our islands are making the necessary preparations for the impending weather system that we're expecting over the next few hours, that is within the next 24, 36 hours. Happy to state that here in the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, we're making very, very good progress. That is, with our preparations, our teams have been out and about, even over the weekend, doing the necessary assessment and commencing some of the preparations, and as far as moving around with our shelters, just doing the inspections, also addressing a very critical area as well, and that is with our island. That commenced over the weekend and has gone extremely well, and happy to report that that process has now been completed. So we're most happy about that. We also commenced our shuttering of our government buildings here within the sister islands this morning, and that process has now been completed as well, which went extremely well. The distribution of sandbags here in the BRAC, that also got underway this morning at 8 a.m., continues as we speak. We have two locations, one being down in Cottree Bay, that is in the west end area of the island here in the BRAC, and then also at Watering Place Gardens, which is up on the eastern portion of the island. Here we've also been able to work with our public works department, getting as much as our government equipment and vehicles onto higher ground, being on the bluff. We also yesterday had an opportunity to assist and work along with the Port Authority here within the island to get some of their pieces of equipment and containers, etc., secured on higher ground. So we're definitely making great progress here within the sister islands. We've also been in communication with some of the other private sector businesses as well. We also looked around, even within fuel supply with the sister islands. We're happy that just a couple of weeks ago, we actually had a tanker in here. So the island, we feel quite comfortable with the supply of fuel that we have available now in the island, and just in case anything do go drastic with the weather system, although we're not expecting anything at that magnitude, but still trying to err on the side of being extra cautious.
And asking about the weather, but as you referenced the sandbags, I gather this is just another tool in the arsenal. My understanding that the supply and provision of sandbags is a relatively new sort of addition to all the preparations. Is that the case?
That is correct. It's only been done this year is a matter
right
here with us as far as government assisting within the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, there's an issue that we've had and dealt with within government for quite some time. But when we go as far as to extend such a service to the private sector, yes, it is fairly new, definitely within 2024.
Right. And this is, sharing that, thank you for that, Mr. Mark, is that we're looking at what happened, what could be happening, and respond in a way that offers up a greatest chance of, success and survival so that people are feeling safe. On the Sister Islands now, what is the well, first of all, what is the weather like? What are you experiencing presently?
Right now, the weather's not too bad. We got some partly cloudy skies. Wind, I would say, probably gusting up around 15 miles per hour, but a beautiful, cool Monday afternoon.
Okay, so for that unsuspecting person who didn't know, could just be out and about thinking, oh, nice day, nothing coming, right? So we shouldn't, put our heads in the sand. With that now, what is it, if the forecasters are correct and things continue, what is it that you're expecting the weather to be like as this weather system passes?
Well, based on the latest forecast we received from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, obviously they're getting the information from the National Hurricane Center in Miami as well. We were expecting to be impacted by the intended weather system within the next 24 hours or thereabout.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it is currently forecasted that by late tomorrow morning, the Sister Islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman could commence experiencing tropical storm force winds, if not gusting, definitely within gusts for certain at that particular time, which will take us well into the night tomorrow night.
Okay.
And that the Sister Islands are expected to definitely experience extremely strong tropical storm force winds, possibly up to hurricane strength as well within gusts.
Okay, so with gusts, and then for those who don't know, the Category 1 starts at what's the miles per hour? And
7 to 4.
7 to 4. Right. So that's the Category 1. So we could be getting potential high tropical storm winds, maybe 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. Who knows, because it's the weather, right?
Yeah, well, again, with the current forecast, looking for the Sister Islands to experience right there at least up around 70 miles an hour.
Right. And I'm hoping that we all are sensible and going to be responsible and would listen and respond safely to improve, our survival and keeping us safe. But for someone who's saying about 50, 60, 70 miles of a Cat 1, yes, we thankfully it's not worse, but we should not sort of take it lightly and be out and about playing around. And what can you say to people to be, just take a breath, be safe, do this, don't do that? What would be your advice?
Yeah, well, definitely I say to each and every one within these islands, not only the Sister Islands, but in the entire Cayman Islands as well, to take the system seriously. Again, right now, this is just your forecast. Things could change. Things could even go downhill worse. But as well, there could be a change in track, and things may not be as severe as we're possibly thinking. Although, like you just said, it's just right now for a strong tropical storm or minimal hurricane strength. The thing about the current track right now, Dwayne, as you might very well know, and I'm quite certain others within the community have learned over the years, with such a tropical cyclone, the right-hand side of the storm, where you'll experience the most intense weather system, based on the current track, that the Sister Islands is forecasted to be right on the right-hand corner of this weather system. It approaches these islands. In fact, it appears as if with this latest forecast, this island of Little Cayman just be as much as roughly around 20 miles away from the center of circulation, with the Brac being roughly about 30, 35. So whatever there is from the storm. As far as the intense weather, the Sister Islands is currently forecasted to experience the extreme there from the weather system. Again, that's the current forecast, but that could possibly change as well.
Yeah, I guess this is where that communications, from your office, from Radio Cayman through the National Weather Service, and that we do that. Mr. Mark, we have the break. We certainly would invite you, if you have time, to remain online after the break and join us. Is that fit into your schedule okay?
Yes, sir. I can stay for another few minutes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. We so appreciate your time. And one to our listeners, Mr. Mark Tibbetts, the District Commissioner of the Sister Islands, will remain with us, give us a perspective from the BRAC. So stay tuned.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
From 8th to the 30th of November, the Pirates Week Festival will embark on a 3-week journey under the theme of setting sail through time. Join us for a host of free activities for all to enjoy. Immerse yourself in pirate folklore, journey to each district day, and celebrate Caymanian culture while you connect with friends new and old. For more information on events and activities, please visit piratesweek.com. Brought to you by the Ministry of Border Control, Labor and Culture.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. And as our prayers are with all of us in preparing for this impending passage of this weather system, we're also praying for those in leadership as they themselves have to prepare personally, but they send the information to the public. And on the phone, the District Commissioner of the Sister Islands, we have the excellent company of Mr. Mark Tibbetts. Thanks, sir, for staying on with us. And as you were sharing from the perspective of Sister Islands, we want to understand what's happening some more.
There, and like you said, definitely we ourselves need some time for preparation, and we're most thankful to Honorable Deputy Governor who has allowed the entire civil service today to have an extra hour during our lunch time as well to try to make some preparations for the weather system. So we're most thankful for that opportunity, and we here as a civil service just continue to strive to deliver a world-class service to our community at all times. We were speaking earlier in regards to just the new initiative in recent times here about the delivery of sandbags to individuals, another extra layer of security. Also happy that yes, whilst it's been taking place for quite some time, to a lesser extent, in more recent times here too within the Sister Islands, we've tried to make it a point that we try to reach out and assist our seniors on the island as well that may need some assistance when it comes to shuttering up their homes, etc. So that is another area for preparation measures that is actually ongoing as we speak, and we're just more thankful that we're able to try to assist our community in such a manner.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're able to take the time to share with us, because as the public could be sort of unsuspecting. We consume with our work and we look out the window and we think, oh, it's not too bad, just a little breeze. We might even think that this is what the National Weather Service is sharing. So in relation to its impact, it may be insignificant. That is our prayer. But how do we make sure, as you were sharing earlier, that people don't become complacent, they don't be dismissive?
We as far as the Sister Islands Emergency Committee, also most naturally our hazard management within the Cayman Islands, I think they've been doing an excellent job of trying to ensure that they get the word out there. There's always public notifications that is coming out on a regular basis, and I think it's an area within the process here within the Cayman Islands that has improved significantly in recent times as far as communications. We've been receiving in over the past few storms much praise, compliments from the community as far as the level of communication that has been reaching our communities. So we just continue to do that. Even here within district administration, we have our own local marketing promotions section in which we try our best. Social media being one of the things of the day. So we try to create as much awareness or notification as we possibly can. It's also a very small community. So the word is out and about for sure, and it isn't new to us within this region, living right within the hurricane belt down here in the Northwest Caribbean. So I think for the most part, individuals definitely understand the severity, the matter that you could be dealing with, and speaking now in particular for the Sister Islands residents, I must state and compliment them that especially in recent times, the level, the magnitude of preparations that is most pronounced, most visible, it's most impressive. So I just want to take the opportunity to applaud them, compliment them for all their efforts as well, not just from a government standpoint, but the community on a whole. So I think the message there is out there, and persons definitely understand it quite clearly.
Now, from that perspective, as we get nearer our discussion in on the Sister Islands, what sort of activities, just generally we've seen our homes already being, putting up the hurricane shutters, all boarded up, the supermarket, and what sort of activities there?
All of the above.
Yeah.
Definitely, it is quite visible, like I said, within the government sector, which has been ongoing, started over the weekend, but definitely in full swing as we currently speak, and we have full confidence that our preparations will be completed by end of today for certain. As you drive throughout the island as well, it's quite evident of the community making their preparations as well when it comes to shuttering, boarding up persons. You can see them some persons moving about in their yards, no doubt looking at loose items around the place, trying to secure them. So definitely preparations are ongoing within the Sister Islands of Kimmebrack and Little Cayman.
Well, I'm hopeful that as we watch the preparations and listen to what you shared, that we'll take it to heed. Despite the date on the calendar, maybe we will be mindful that in 2004, the hurricane season, as it was, Mother Nature decided to extend it into January, right? So we need to, I guess, be prepared, to be forewarned, as to be forearmed, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Mr. Mark, we are appreciative of that. In closing, what else do you want to share? Is there anything that those of us on Grand Cayman could do to assist over there? Is there anything that what's happening on the BRAC can help us on Grand Cayman in order to,
Well, put it this way. I just, since you said that, I just want to definitely take the opportunity to thank Hazardous Management and the Executive Committee for all their support at all times, not just now, but all times, to the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's, as we were just talking, as far as the level of preparations and the awareness, the knowledge as to what these weather systems can really deliver, that is out there quite clear. And what we could do for each other is what we have always done in the past. One Grand Cayman in recent, just take for instance, in more recent years, 2004 Grand Cayman, heavily impacted by Ivan. The Sister Islands was here to definitely welcome many from over on that side here to the BRAC, and to a lesser extent Little Cayman, and to assist wherever possible. And likewise was for us in 2008 with Paloma. Grand Cayman was there for us.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very, very loving community within these wonderful Cayman Islands that we all so proudly call home, and I'm quite certain that we'll be there for each other going forward as well.
Indeed, Mr. Mark, 3 islands but one country, and we come together.
You got it.
Yeah, and thanks for giving us a feel. As you shared, the people are prepared, but they're, not overly sort of burdened. They're just sensible in their approach and very proactive. So it's the Cayman Brac spirit, and embodied there. So thank you very much, Mr. Mark.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it very much, and you all take care. Stay safe. God bless always.
God bless, man. Thank you, sir, and appreciate our District Commissioner, Mr. Mark Tibbetts, and to all who prepare and all year round through their planning, they ensure that we are there. So to all, who express to subscribe to prayer, let's make sure that we are purposeful, but also there. I can only say that hand of God is our work. So as the great architect brings us, from above in the blessings, let's go about being a brother's keeper, as Mr. Art reminds us. Tomorrow is another day. Prayerfully, we'll be a part of it. All right. All the best. See you tomorrow.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.